My fellow fighters and the people of the world, you know the issue of foreigners, illegal foreigners in South Africa has become a big thing. Even political parties use it to contest elections. We see yet again EFF falling victim to being attacked and being held accountable for something they are not responsible for, foreigners. And Sihle Lonzi is being attacked for just saying something very simple, which a sound, open mind can just agree with it. And I'm going to show you what Sihle Lonzi said, and you will tell me if this is worth attacking him for it. And there's also something else, Mr. Obakeng said. That one you're going to see it because he was brutally attacked for that. But Sihle Lonzi says, the ANC government is to blame for the poor border control in South Africa. Ensuring that everyone entering and leaving South Africa is legally documented is the responsibility of the government. Border controls is the responsibility of government. Any attempt to shift blame is myopic. That's true, guys. I don't know what myopic means, but it's myopic to shift the blame from holding the government accountable and blaming people who have nothing to do with those things. So, of course, he's replying to all the people who continuously attack the EFF and blame the border thing on the EFF. Guys, let me tell you something. The government is happy as long as you guys are blaming the EFF. They are happy because they know your focus is shifted from holding the real people who are responsible for this, and they can get away with living the system the way it is. People in South Africa complain about the healthcare, hospitals and clinics. They are saturated, overcrowded by foreigners, illegal foreigners. People in South Africa complain about that. But the problem is that they blame the EFF for that. How are you going to fix it if you're still blaming the EFF for that? The ANC is the government. Minister of Health, Mr. Mutsoaledi, is the ANC cadre. When you look at the DA is running, guess what? Is running Home Affairs. They are responsible. Department of Border Control, they are working with Home Affairs. We constantly see the Home Affairs Minister in the borders, Lapa, patrolling with BMA, border management agencies. So, as long as you guys still blame the EFF, the country won't change. I'm telling you now. You won't see any change because the EFF is not in control of these things. But as in, saying these things is like speaking to a wall. People of South Africa sometimes can be a wall. So they like, yo, our people are so, yo, is like, yes, man. Our people don't wanna progress. They don't wanna see. They wanna open their eyes. But there's something, very, very concerning about this whole issue. Our people in South Africa, they are fed up with this whole issue of foreigners, illegal foreigners saturating hospitals. Our people, they are tired. They are sick and tired of that. They don't want to stand anymore in lines because the hospital is toilet and there's a lot of people and they are not even South Africans, those people. Our people are sick and tired of that. And I understand that. And I sympathize with that. But that's still not the EFF's fault. That's the government of South Africa's fault. So there's something the Mr. Obakeng, the MMC of Environmental Health in City of Tshwane, posted. And they are having him for this post. And that's where I started to see our people are so far gone. They have no sympathy, nothing. Like they don't care anymore. So this is what it says. How do you turn away a pregnant woman in a hospital This is madness. I'm not interested in your fight against foreign nationals. But turning back a pregnant woman, black or white, foreigner or South African, is not the way to go. Many people, they don't like it when something like that is said. Turning a pregnant woman away from the hospital is not the way to go. When you look at it in a humanistic way, as humans, as people, it wouldn't be fair to turn away a pregnant woman from the hospital. Then she's going to give birth in the streets. There's risks giving birth in the streets. We all know that. But our people are also saying there's too much lines in the hospitals. You prioritizing those foreigners to give birth there might put the people of South Africa at risk for not for finally standing in lines while the foreigners are being attended, and the South Africans are the ones who end up giving birth in the streets because there's too much lines. And you listen to both arguments, and you fail to pick a side when you're presented with serious facts like this. One is saying, it's not saying it supports foreigners, black or white, it's just saying turning away a pregnant woman who was about to give birth, whether she's black, she's white, she's a foreigner, she's South African, turning her away is not the way to go. And one is saying, but making her enter first or accepting her to enter might put a South African at risk to be the one who ends up giving birth in the streets because the hospital will be so full of those foreigners. And then you look at this argument, you love both of them and you fail to pick a side. And you ask, what is the solution? And I think the solution at this point is to just open Africa. Africa become big and then we change the whole Africa. We develop all African countries. It seems like that's the only solution. Because when you speak about the real solution of the borders, nobody seems to want to hear me when I say, why are borders not built? Because without borders, these foreigners you complain about will still come to the country. So the issue doesn't start there at the hospital. The issue doesn't start there where the foreigners are already in the country and causing problems. The issue starts there in the borders. Nobody wants to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the root cause. So it's hard to fix, like it's going to be very hard to fix this issue. It's going to be very hard. But the question is, and this is a very important question, why all of a sudden, now because you're going to 2026 elections, this whole thing of foreigners must go is starting to become a thing? It was quiet after elections. Nobody cared after elections. But now, because you're going to the next elections, it's coming back. Let's wait and see after the 2026 elections. How will this thing pin out? Because this is not an ending issue, guys. If you think this whole thing of foreigners is going to end, you're not ready to talk about this. Because the border is wide open, Baba. Okay, that's fine. Don't listen to me. Me at this point, I understand people who say, but how do you let someone not give birth? How do you let someone die on the basis that they are foreign? I also understand people who say, Mara, these people, but listen now. They are fooled. I get it. I get all people. The question is, if it was you in that door and there's a woman who's about to give birth and she's a foreigner and you don't allow her to give birth and she gives birth there in the streets in front of you, as a South African, are you going to help her? Or are you just going to let her give birth alone as a foreigner and watch all the collapse? And are you going to allow that? Are you going to watch her give birth in the streets? I won. Or you're going to help? If you say you're going to help her, Why not take her inside the hospital and they help her the profession? But as in, thank you very much. Danko.